Welcome back. We'll continue to talk about layouts. In this video, we'll go ahead and talk about relative layout now. So let's open up. I have our previous project open, the one we talked about, a linear layout. Let's go ahead and change back to relative layout here as the root, and of course to finish layout, to close our layout. Perfect. To save that, let's go to design here and look at things. And you notice that for all the things that we had before, everything is just clumped all together on top now. That's because relative layout allows you to put objects relative to other objects on the canvas. As you can see, I can move everything. If I want to put on top here in the middle of those two, that's possible. If I want to put this text here right to the right of here, this one here, it's possible. If I want to put this one here about here, it also works. So you see there's a lot of things you can do with it, right? Well, let's get rid of everything we've put in here and we start from scratch here. Let's get rid of this and let's get this out of here, and we'll just keep the color there. Okay, so back here, so let's put something. Let's get a button here. Okay, let's say we want to put a small text just beside of it here. You can see you're able to do so. Right? Let's say you want to put another larger text at the bottom here, and it works. If you look at the text view here, once we create our views, our widgets here, button, text view, and another text view, we could, as you can see, all of them have IDs. Here it says layout align bottom. What this means, we're passing in the ID of the view or widget that we want to be at the bottom of, right? So in this case, the button, which is this here, we're saying there is that this edit text view here, we want it to be below, align bottom of this button here, right? So let's get rid of this first. So I can create, let's say, an edit text. So edit text, and I can say wrap content and wrap content. And let's give this an ID. Let's say Android ID, and I'm going to call it my edit text. Okay, let's get rid of all of this stuff since we've changed things here. Okay, now I know that this first button here has ID of button. So if I want to say align this edit text, let's say to the right of this button here, very simple. All I can do, I can just say Android layout to right of, and I pass in the at ID. Notice here this I just put at ID as opposed to at plus ID, and I'm sure you probably could just use the at plus ID to reference this other button here that we want to be to the right of, but I like to differentiate this way. Okay, so I'm going to put the button ID here, button. If we save this and go back, you're going to see, it'll save, you will be able to see that our hello is to the right of the new button, which is exactly what we specify here. And of course we can go ahead here and say Android, and you can say margin, layout margin top, say 10 dp. What this means here, margin top, is to the referencing the top here of the screen, right? Now that's the case. Now if we were to say then change this to, let's say, below that ID, and we save and go back here, obviously it's going to be below our new button. In this case here, this is very important. When we say margin top, the reference, it's not here at the top of the screen. Now the reference is this button here, because as we're saying in the relative layout, everything is relative to the other object here, and we specify here, we say that this has to be below the button, which is this ID here, which is this button here. So whatever we specify here, say margin top 10 dp, it's not from the top here, it's from the top here of 10 of the button. That's very important to realize, okay? And you can see there's a little arrow here that tells you exactly, you know, how far you are from the button here. Perfect. And we can of course go ahead and say, for instance, we want to put a text view, and say wrap content, and we can give it an ID of, let's say, Android ID. By now you know how to do this in your sleep. Let's say my text. No, I want to say my text. There we go. I can save that. Right, so references is to the right of the button here, but still below our hello, because that's what we specified. So if we get rid of this, and save, and there it is, high text.